Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. We have Liam back on the line. Liam, how you doing?
I'm all right. Are you, Jod?
Oh, I'm doing all right. If you guys recall, Liam took part in a rapid-fire critique section or segment that we did a couple weeks back, or whoever knows. When you're watching this, yeah, we did one before, and he just sent me a link to go through and look at some more, and I figured why not just record it and see what we come up with. Sound good?
Yep.
So we're going to stay on the same harshness level. How was the harshness level last time, by the way?
It was good. I really appreciated the critique, and it wasn't harsh as people said, so it was really good, and I think I've learned a lot from it, actually.
Good, good. Yeah, no, I'm trying, there's positives and everything. So let's dive into this. I liked the colors a lot. I like the angle that you captured here. You filled the frame really, really well, and you didn't use a vignette now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice colors. I like that they're nice and punchy. It's a nice photo. I really like it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Anything you need to add to it or anything?
Not really. It was quite surprising that it came out quite well, because it wasn't my camera that I was using, and it was like first time using the settings and Nikon, that sort of thing. So, but I'm really pleased with it, actually.
Good, good. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so we have a farmhouse here.
Yeah.
How did you get your exposure for this?
It was on the manual exposure, so it was in between the lines with the little line in the middle there.
All right, okay. So what happened is it's exposing probably for the sky or the brighter area, which is throwing off your meter because it looks like the house is in the shadow.
Yeah.
Right. So what happened is it tricked your meter to think that it was the scene is brighter than it really is.
Right.
All right. So to compensate for that, if you saw this in your camera after you took it, you can slow your shutter speed down to let more light in. What's going to happen is the farmhouse is going to be and the things in the shadows are going to be brought out.
Yeah.
Okay, and brighter, and the background may blow out. It may become too bright, but if you were going for what's in the foreground, then that's what you could do. You line it up and then take a picture, and remember we talked about froing. You look at the back of the camera, you look at it, and you go, okay, it's too dark. What do I do to make it brighter? Well, I could bump my ISO higher, for one.
Yeah.
I could open my aperture, or I could slow my shutter speed down. So those are the three things to keep in mind.
Yeah.
So that's what I would have done here is I would brighten it up either more so in the camera than in post, but just remember, if it's coming out like this, you can slow your shutter speed down to let in more light.
Okay, cool.
That's going to be a whole book at some point, but that's the basic rundown right there.
Yeah.
All right, the skateboarding shot. This is awesome. I love that you didn't cut off the guy's foot on the left. It doesn't hurt me too much that you cut off the side of the board because the wheels are in there, and the fact that the wheels are off the ground. This is and I see a vert ramp in the background. So, it could be an advertisement shot for Nike. Tell me what you did here.
Well, I mean, a lot of my friends are BMXers and skateboarders, so we went to a skate park for the day, and I had the same camera, the Nikon D300, and I was just running around, and I was actually waiting for another shot when I saw this one, and I just took the shot and I played around with it, and there's a slight vignette of exposure around the side that I'd put on in aperture.
That's all right.
Other than that, that was about it, really, and
So
I'm quite pleased with it.
Yeah, I love this a lot. So you got on a low angle?
Yeah, I was on the floor, actually, for this one.
Exactly. This is great. This is great composition. It's a great capture, and the fact that the wheels are off the ground is really great.
Thanks a lot, lad.
I really like the direction you've gone in the last couple of weeks already.
Thanks.
I mean, just looking, the fact that there's a vert ramp in the background, it's better than it just being on the street,
Yeah.
So I'm really, really, I like that a lot.
Cool.
I do. I like that a lot. Maybe, who knows, in post-processing, pumping the colors up a little bit, but other than that, the composition's great. Everything else comes a little later. The BMX shot, it's okay.
Okay.
If you could have been tighter on the guy, is there a little motion blur there?
I think there might be a little bit either that or it's just a little bit out of focus, I think.
All right. Angle-wise, you could move to the right, shooting up at the guy more, filling the frame.
Yeah.
That may be a better angle for you because it's not filled. The frame isn't filled up enough. Plus, the background becomes distracting.
All right, yeah.
Because it's not blown out.
All right, yeah.
So whereas you filled the frame with the last one, this is a little less. It's not as good.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
But simple enough. It's just try to fill the frame as much as possible. Try to go behind the hill, and you can if you have a longer lens. Did you not have a longer lens?
No, this was a 17 to 55 2.8.
All right, that's definitely understandable if you didn't have the longer lens. If you had something like a 70 to 200 or even a 70 to 300, even one of the basic lenses. Hold on, what is this? I got to decline that guy who's calling. Even if you had a 70 to 300, outside it's going to do well. If you shoot from like maybe the next jump or something, and then you're shooting straight on, it could give you a cool look. Or even shooting from further back but below the jump, shooting up, it's going to make the guy or whoever you're shooting look much bigger.
Okay, yeah.
And what's it called when you rotate the bars? Backwards?
Bar spin.
Bar spin. All right, well, that's simple enough. Let's go to the next one. Monster Energy drink on the shirt.
Yep.
So this is the starting line.
Yeah.
I would assume that this guy's just practicing?
Yeah, it's called the Start Gate, and we were practicing. We've got a new youth service facility in where I live, and this was the opening day for the track.
Okay.
So I was a photographer for the day.
All right.
And we came down, and it was, I don't know if you like color pop, but there was color pop on the back there, and
I'm not a huge fan, but it doesn't hurt me in this image. Composition wise, if you lined up straight, all right, and got all the numbers in,
right, yeah,
it looks like there's what, 7 lanes or 8 lanes?
I think there's 8 lanes.
All right, it's close. Composition wise, I would get straight on to the starting gate.
Okay,
all right, so that everything is even straight across. Being that he's in gate, what's that say, 5?
Yeah.
He would be in the right-hand side of the frame a little bit more, but it would be really good if you were further back, shot it a little wider, and straight on, because then you would see all the gates, but he's the only one going, and he wouldn't be exactly in the middle, but he'd be off to the side.
Okay, yeah.
I think that would take it to the next level.
Okay, yeah.
But the color pop doesn't bother me. That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Is he sleeping next to cocaine?
No, it's... I'm not sure if it is cocaine or not, but he was definitely asleep for that, yeah.
Pump up the... I think this could be a black and white.
Okay, yeah.
I just realized you're not seeing my screen right now, but that's all right, right?
So yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I think... I mean, it's an okay capture. It's a guy sleeping on the street. To add more dimension, I think, would be to go black and white, very high contrast, pump that up. At least that's my opinion on what I would do to this. Yep. What I do like that you did here, I don't know if you even noticed, there is the thing in orange on the side left.
Oh yeah.
It's closer to you than the guy is to you. So I like to use objects to draw me into the subject.
Right, yeah.
So pay attention to that in the future, that you could sometimes use out-of-focus objects to draw you in framing-wise.
I never actually noticed that, so yeah, that's quite interesting.
But I think this is a black and white, high contrast, and it would work much better.
Okay, yeah.
All right, a portrait of an older guy?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, anything story behind it?
I was on holiday. We were in a place called Tomar in Portugal, and we'd been for a meal, and I'd left the family to walk around, and I just walked around, and I heard it was a group of, I think there was 4 or 5 old men there, and they were playing dominoes, and I heard them shouting and cheering. So I went in and asked if I could take their photograph, and he was one of the more friendly guys from the lot, and so I spent a few minutes with him trying to get some good photographs.
All right, are there any more of him coming up after this?
I think there might be one of the group.
Okay. All right, so being that you said dominoes, what I would consider doing, one, there's a little too much headroom.
Right, yeah.
All right, if there were dominoes on the table and things like that, I would have possibly tried to get those dominoes in. Like shooting full frame, vertically, you would have a little bit more room up top, so you could drop your frame down a little bit. Yeah. And have him like holding the domino on the table, but you could then, what options you would have there, you could shoot the vertical, get him in focus and right on his eye, and then the domino may be out of focus, or get on a low angle, shoot the hand with the domino at 2.8 at say 55 with that lens, so zoomed in, and then he would be out of focus in the background.
Okay, yeah.
So those are just different visual things that you could play with. Other than that, I think it could be a little brighter, but it's a little, I think it could be better if you being that you said the dominoes and things, I think you could have composed or created a different shot there, because right now I don't have any feel for what's going on in the image.
Okay, yep.
All right. Okay, all right. The next one is the guy with the dominoes. I like your edit. It has a very old world flavor to it.
Okay, I liked how it's got the fours in the background as well.
Very nice. The one criticism is cutting off the fingers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, yeah.
You either shoot a little wider, take a step back, or shoot in. I don't even know if tighter would work, but it's very close. I like where you're going. Or what could have worked is a horizontal where you threw him off to the right-hand side and then got the fingers and hands and everything in there while still keeping the pictures in the background.
Yeah.
All right, very close, very close. Is this the D300 again?
No, this was a Sony 330.
All right.
This was my camera, yeah.
You know what? Regardless of what you're shooting with, you're taking leaps and bounds here.
Okay, thanks a lot.
This is great. All right, and then a wider shot of dominoes. There's some motion blur. That's fine because the other guys are frozen. Plus, you get a feel for what's going on. The one thing, again, for me, straight angles.
Right.
All right, you see how the table, it's at a odd angle?
Yeah.
If you move to the right and kept the line straight and filled the frame left to right, you put the guy on the left almost touching the left side, the guy on the right almost touching the right corner of the frame, and then the guy's right in the middle, it becomes a very nice symmetric image, and maybe at a slight lower angle. But it's you're very close. You're really getting close to it.
Cool.
Does that make sense though?
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so let's go next one. This is your brother again, right?
Yeah, you've seen this one, I believe, haven't you?
Saw that one. And then is this a different shot of the old timer?
It wasn't a different shot. It's the same shot, but we've re-edited it since what you said.
Okay. If you were to do a crop again, I would just, it has a little too much headroom again.
Okay.
So for the future, when you're shooting something like this, if you fill the frame a little more, so you would have like the right hat, his hat almost touching the right of the frame, and the left part of his hat almost touching the left. If you brought your angle down slightly, boom, you could have it. Or if the background was really interesting, you could then throw his head down almost at the bottom of the frame, which breaks all the rules, and leave the columns and the building in the background there. It's all leading lines. I mean, it's a very solid shot. This is a great edit that you did. I really like the clarity that you captured here.
Thanks a lot, there.
All right. So it's just, I'm assuming I had this problem when I shot film where I left too much headroom, and I discovered that it was because of my focusing points. I would focus where the middle, one above the middle focusing point was, which left too much headroom. So that was just what I discovered when I was messing up back in the day. Not messing up, but when I was learning back in the day. You still there? All right, I may have lost him. Yep, connection lost. We're going to call him back.
Okay, cool.
All right, we're back. There was some thunder and lightning over there. Did you hear everything I said about this photo, the old guy, or how I had the same problem with filling the top of the frame?
I just heard the last bit of when you said film with the autofocus.
All right, so yeah, back in the day, I missed. I noticed that I wasn't filling to the top of the frame, and part of it is if this was printed as an 8x10, it would be perfect because you would lose the 2 inches at the top. But I realized that I was using a focusing point that was slightly above the middle, but it also left a lot of headroom, and that's just how I was shooting back in the day. So I don't know if it's the same thing with how you're shooting.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, just try to fill the frame a little bit. All right, we have... explain this one.
I can remember, did we use the model shot for the rapid fire?
We used a model shot, but it was on the caddy corner, the angle.
Okay, yeah, that was it. And, I thought, I'd had another one from that same shoot. That was, it wasn't on the angle, and it's a bit more contrasty, I think, and a bit more effective.
I would still pump up the contrast slightly more.
Okay.
What are you editing this in?
These were edited in just Capture One. It was on a preset that the photographer used Aperture to put JPEGs because he was using a Phase 1.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I've never used that. I would like to see more contrast, more blacks and more whites, because it doesn't look like it's in black and white.
Okay, it's not. I don't think it's in black and white as much. I think it's more of a sepia type
Right.
effect.
I'd like to see it black and white. I'd love to see the
Okay.
contrast in it.
Yep.
All right, dog shot.
Yeah.
Very sharp, really nice composition. Um, cut off slight bit of the mouth,
Yeah.
right?
Just slight.
Slight bit, so maybe just slightly lower, but it still works. You know, it's not a deal breaker at all. And again, it's sepia, isn't it?
Yeah.
See what happens with the black and whites sometime.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm saying it's solid. It's nice exposure and great and well, nice editing again. So
Okay. Thanks a lot.
yeah, I like the composition. You threw them off to the left hand side, not right in the middle. That's always a good thing to keep. I saw the grass shot here.
Yeah.
We talked about the bird shot. We talked about, and then you cropped it, right? Is this different than before?
Yeah. I took the vignette off. If you remember, that a really
Yeah.
nasty, long, wide vignette that you didn't like.
It's still a
And
solid
then I
shot.
decided that actually it looked a lot better like this as well.
All right, good. Yeah, I mean, the less gimmicky stuff that you have to add to it, try to get in the mindset of letting your pictures. We lost the content. He must have had the thunderstorm. But here, I'll just say it. Try to stay in the frame of thought. What happened there?
I'm not sure. I think was it you that time because my internet worked fine.
Oh, I don't know. But anyway, I'll just keep going. We'll keep going either way.
Okay, yeah, no
I
problem.
was trying to think. Yeah, what I was saying is try to let the image speak for itself more than worrying about what additions you can do in post processing to try to make it better. If the image can stand on its own without those major edits, that's half the battle. You know, worry about capturing the moment and going from there more so than trying to add things to it to bring it back.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more focus on all of them because it's the one that strikes me right off the bat is the one that's out of focus right up top.
All right, yeah.
Other than that, maybe come in tighter on the one that is in focus and just try that, or go with a higher aperture and try to make them all in focus.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
That's just the quick gut reaction to that.
Yeah.
Dancing shot, it's a typical dancing shot at a wedding with a flash, right?
Yeah, flash with the wedding. It was a 80th birthday pie.
Okay.
That I was paid for.
Here is a technique you could use when you're shooting with a flash. You could bump your ISO up a little higher. You can get into manual and go with a slower shutter speed, like a 40th of a second, a 30th, a 15th, a 20th, or anywhere around there at, say, f4, f5.6.
Okay, yeah.
And what's happening is you're going to drag the shutter a little bit, which is going to let the ambient light in the background fill in. So instead of the background being totally pitch black, you will get some you would get some colors, you'll get a feel for the lights in the background, but the people should be exposed properly. It just takes a little bit of playing with the settings and exposure.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I think that's it there, Jod.
That's it. I really like the direction you're going. You have some really, really solid images here to build your book with. And we should just keep doing this every couple of weeks. Keep sending me stuff. Yeah. We'll keep talking about it.
So I mean, after the rapid fire critique, I really took it all in quite seriously and thought, right, I'll get out and I'll try my best and see what comes up with, and I'm quite happy with it as well.
Yeah, I think you have 90% of these shots are really, really good.
Thanks a lot.
And that skateboarding shot is really. I love the skateboarding shot.
Yeah, I guess you'd quite like that one actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know what's going to grab you, but that's the point. I mean, if. And I know you asked for harshness level of pretty darn high before, and again here. But I'll just like to say, when I'm critiquing work, I'm not ripping on the work. I'm trying to give direction and a little bit of a hey, try this out and see what happens. Because if there's never any, if it's all peaches and cream, if it's all good stuff every time, you're not really going to learn from it. Yeah. But I honestly don't think I was too harsh last time, and I don't think I was harsh this time. I just think you're doing a great job, and we'll keep going and keep trying to just keep taking it to the next step.
Yeah, I mean, it was very motivational. If I was worried about being harsh and scared about it, then I wouldn't have asked for 10. And I thought it was a bit bad that people were ripping on you for that. So I'll apologize for them for that. But I'm really happy with the critique this time as well, and I'll I'll keep on learning as well.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep sending me stuff. I don't have a problem. You know, put together 10, 12, 15 pictures, and I'll just keep going through because this is the best way to learn.
Yeah. Another rapid fire that you did with is it Adam Lerner?
Yes.
I just like to pass on that he's absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's.
Watch that, and he's really good.
Yeah, his environmental wide angles, environmental portraits are great. He's doing really, really well. And same with Andy Witt, his stuff. If you saw Andy's stuff, Andy picked up.
Was he the one with a lot of the black and white environmental portraits?
Yep, the deer. You know, the deer in the garage. Yeah.
That was.
Huh?
That was brilliant as well. I really liked that one.
Yeah, he's definitely. I keep one. He's actually local to me, so I really want to shoot with him more often because he's really taken the initiative and taken the next step. And you know, I don't know. That's exactly what I wish I took part in when I started shooting, because I would have gotten there quicker. And I did have mentors and people that would sit down and talk to me, and that's the best thing. It's all about passing the knowledge on and helping you get to the next step. And I think you're definitely on the way.
All right, thanks a lot then, John.
All right, Liam, you keep it up, and I'll sign off from here, all right?
Cool.
All right, Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya!